lessons let you learn on the go. Now, you can try Babble free. In just weeks, you'll have the conversational skills you want to use anywhere. In business meetings, on vacation, with the ones you love.
It's not hard to learn a language if you have the right program.
It improved my accent 1,000%.
The way that it's taught, it really sticks with you.
It's so user-friendly. I love it.
Try Babble free today. Go to Babble.com or download the app and see why Babble is the #1 selling language learning app in Europe.
I can do more to lower my A1C.
And I can do it with what's already within me.
Because my body can still make its own insulin. And once weekly Trulicity activates my body to release it. Trulicity is not insulin. It comes in a once weekly, truly easy to use pen. It works 24/7, and you don't have to see or handle a needle.
Trulicity is a once-weekly injectable medicine to improve blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes when used with diet and exercise. It should not be the first medicine to treat diabetes, or for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not take Trulicity if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, if you have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you're allergic to Trulicity. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or symptoms like itching, rash, or trouble breathing. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with a sulfonylurea or insulin increases your risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects include nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, decreased appetite, and indigestion. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
I choose once weekly Trulicity to activate my within.
If you need help lowering your A1C and blood sugar, activate your within. Ask your doctor about once weekly Trulicity.
Soon after the news leaked to several news outlets on Friday, Donald Trump's deputy campaign chairman, Rick Gates, pleaded guilty to fraud and lying. This after Bob Mueller filed a new spate of charges against Gates and his former business partner, Paul Manafort. That set off waves of media speculation about what this might mean for the president. Joining us now, Steve Hayes, editor-in-chief of the Weekly Standard and a Fox News contributor. Steve, all the pundits are saying this Rick Gates plea puts the pressure on Manafort to incriminate Trump, and maybe it does. But how do any journalists know whether Gates or Manafort have any incriminating evidence about Donald Trump on Russia?
They don't. I mean, nobody knows. I mean, that's what's so interesting about this is Bob Mueller has surprised us again and again and again. I mean, none of us saw the George Papadopoulos indictment coming. There have been, in virtually every revelation, it's been a surprise to reporters, and yet you see journalists going on the cable networks, writing opinion articles, what have you, telling people or purporting to tell people exactly what's going to come next. We don't know what's going to come next. It's much better to wait until we actually see what Bob Mueller's doing and then evaluate what he's presenting.
Journalists don't like to hear that. It's much better to wait. They have airtime to fill, but I think
I do think that's part of it, right? I mean, I think people want to. There's a new indictment. The indictment itself is news. But then there's not much to say about the fact of the indictment.
But
so they
speculation. I mean, the day before the Gates plea, Axios said, well, the latest charges against him could kill any potential of a deal in the short term. The next day, he pleads.
And then he pleads.
Right. All right. So let me put up this tweet from the president on the subject of Russia. Question, it says, if all the Russian meddling took place during the Obama administration right up to January 20th, why aren't they the subject of the investigation? Why didn't Obama do something about the meddling? Why aren't Democratic crimes under investigation? Ask Jeff Sessions. And then let me put up a banner that ran on CNN after that presidential tweet. Trump asks his attorney general to investigate Obama. Well, he didn't quite do that, or he certainly floated the idea.
Yeah, I mean, the president does this all the time. This is not the first time the president has made this kind of a suggestion, right? One of the reasons this is newsworthy is because it appears when the president makes these kinds of arguments that they're coming from a political place rather than a deep concern of law enforcement. That's a problem. The answer to, if you think that law enforcement was biased or selective or political under Democrats, as a conservative, you don't want then the answer to that to be, well, we should have our people go after their people. That's not the way it works in the United States. And I think when the president makes a suggestion publicly to his attorney general that he ought to investigate, that's what it looks like. When it should be, if the evidence is there, if the facts are there, the FBI should investigate. This should come from career folks at the Justice Department and take a serious, unbiased, dispassionate look at the facts.
Right. Of course, the president could ordered the Justice Department to do this, but it would be seen as highly improper, so he just sort of asked Jeff Sessions about this.
Right.
All right, here's CNN reporter Jim Sciutto responding to the flap about this.
When you compare the Trump administration response, particularly this president's response, and the Obama administration's response, I mean, Sarah Sanders is entering really delusional territory there.
Accusing the press secretary of entering delusional territory by defending the president's record on Russia vis-a-vis Obama and the question of this investigation. This is a guy who used to work for the Obama administration, by the way.
Right. Well, look, I don't think it's, as a general rule, it's not helpful to make those kind of claims. I think one of the things that the president did with his tweet, one of his other tweets, where he said that he'd been much tougher on Russia than President Obama has, was he changed the debate by saying that, because then the public debate here in Washington became a contest. Who was tougher on Russia?
The president's very good at changing the debate. Speaking of changing the debate, we had the Republican House intel memo on Carter Page and the FISA warrant. Democratic memo released yesterday with redactions. Liberal commentators saying that undermines the Republican case that the FBI, saying the FBI got a surveillance warrant for this former volunteer aide, Carter Page, because the Bureau had interviewed him months before this request to the FISA court. Has this as a media story kind of degenerated into he said, and are most people following the details?
It's hard. I mean, I'm following the details, and I have to read these things 4, 5, 6
we're
times
paid to do this.
to understand what's happened here. I think what you're seeing politicians on both sides of this issue use classification and redaction to make political points, and then you see politicians on the other side using classification and redaction to either undo those political points or make additional political points. I don't think that there's any way to handle this debate but to have the FISA applications totally released. If you need to have them redacted, you have to have them redacted, but we should see what's in them.
It's also a question of how central that is to this whole Mueller investigation. The president says this Democratic memo, and not surprisingly, says it's a total bust. But by delaying it in this battle over what could be released, I mean, I think he delayed it until a point when the news cycle had kind of moved on and there just wasn't the public interest in it the way there was the huge hype and buildup around the Republican memo.
Yeah, I think that's right, although I don't think it looked like the president and Republicans were playing fair on this, because we did see their memo. I think we ought to have seen the Democratic memo earlier, even if you believe the Republican charges, and I do, that the Democrats deliberately loaded their memo with information that they knew would have to be redacted to cause these problems.
So that they could charge the president with suppressing it. All right, a lot more to talk about here, but we're done here. Steve Hayes, thanks very much.
Thanks, Harry,
for joining us this Sunday. After the break, a bogus conspiracy video about one student who survived the Parkland massacre. It's #1 on YouTube. What is going on?
I took an L, but not a bounce back. What's an L? The rap singer took a loss, and now he's okay now.
Right. Every week I bounce back. Yeah, you can get a mortgage that avoids PMI, but there's no way to avoid MIP.
Hey! This will help. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans makes the complex simple.
So, origination fees and...
This takes care of it. Thank you. Understand the details and get approved in as few as 8 minutes by America's largest mortgage lender.
Bounce back. Right.
I woke up in beast mode with my girl.
Today, the new New York is ready for takeoff. We're invested in creating the world's first state-of-the-art drone testing facility in central New York and the Mohawk Valley, which marks the start of our nation's first 50-mile unmanned flight corridor and allows us to attract the world's top drone talent. All across New York State, we're building the new New York. To grow your business with us in New York State, visit esd.ny.gov.
The Swamp, nationwide. Steve goes inside the shocking state-level corruption. Plus, Anthony Scaramucci and Tommy Lahren with must-see insight on the next revolution. Mary and Shirley both need oxygen. Shirley lost her freedom the day she went on oxygen, but Mary has the brand-new ultra-compact Inogen 1 G4 oxygen concentrator from Inogen. It's the smallest and lightest model we've ever made. Shirley is forced to miss out on everyday activities. Mary fully enjoys her life. Shirley has to wait for tank deliveries and worries about running out of oxygen. But Mary's Inogen 1 G4 makes its own oxygen, so she'll always have the oxygen she needs anytime, anywhere. Shirley finally listened to Mary and now has more freedom too. It's time for you to reclaim your freedom and independence with the Inogen 1 G4. Act now to start your 30-day risk-free trial. This is a limited time offer, so don't wait and don't accept substitutions. The sooner you call, the sooner you can say goodbye to heavy oxygen tanks for good and
reclaim the freedom and independence you deserve. Call now for your 30-day risk-free trial.
Call 800-460-7975.
Big one. Let's talk about when you got braces for the first time.
I did have to wear headgear.
Pieces of metal in your mouth. Popping off rubber bands. I'm breaking off brackets.
Anytime I had to talk, I was like, hey.
And by the end, my teeth moved back again.
Have you ever heard of invisible aligners?
I've never heard of such a thing, honestly.
At Smile Direct Club, we believe you shouldn't have to wear braces to get a smile you'll love. We straighten and brighten smiles for 60% less by working directly with top dentists to ship custom invisible aligners direct to you. Each month, we'll send you new aligners that continue to gently straighten your teeth, and our smile guarantee makes getting started risk-free.
Super cool, super cute, looks just like my teeth.
You never have to go into the dentist's office.
Get my full smile back. Feel confident again.
Why would anyone go back to having braces again, especially as an adult? I really wish this was there when I was a kid.
I'm ready to go sign up wherever it is. Is it out there?
Get started for as low as $80 a month at SmileDirectClub.com.
Some of the Florida students who survived the Parkland shooting are being slimed by conspiracy theorists. In some cases, these attacks are going viral. One person reposted a video of one of the students interviewed last year on local TV for having witnessed a dispute at a California beach with the caption, "David Hogg, the actor."
These people saying this is absolutely disturbing, and I'm not an actor in any sense, way, shape, or form. I was a witness to this. I'm not a crisis actor. I'm somebody that had to witness this.
Joining us now from New York is Shayna Glenzer, a technology analyst and commentator. So how does a completely bogus video like this, falsely accusing this guy, David Hogg, of being an actor, wind up drawing 200,000 views on YouTube as the #1 video before the Google-owned company apologized, took it down on grounds of bullying and harassment?
Yeah, it's astonishing. And YouTube isn't completely innocent here. They inadvertently recommended it to users, but still, you've got 200,000 people who are willing to watch something that's, blatantly false and conspiratory and help it to move to the top of the rankings in Google. And that's just really sad and cruel given what these students have been through.
Right. This got posted by a 51-year-old guy in Idaho named Mike M., who has under 1,000 followers, who says he's going to keep on doing it, although he gets penalized. And it was kind of promoted on Twitter and Facebook and Reddit and 4chan. But I have to come back to the central question. Why do so many people watch something like that?
And he really struck a chord with folks. I think some people feel so strongly about gun control and are so unhappy with these students for speaking out that they're willing to believe something that, again, is false and conspiratorial. And people are just hungry for someone to validate their views, and I think that it really resonated with them.
Now, another site called Gateway Pundit floated a theory without any evidence that Florida students from that high school were coached to criticize president's response to the shooting. The guy behind Gateway Pundit, as it turned out, was barred from a CPAC panel this week. So another example of something being put out there, and then, of course, a lot of people pick it up, retweet it, and so on.
Yeah, I mean, anyone can create a narrative, and within 20 minutes, a video that supports that narrative. And you're seeing, I think, from the left and the right, some people have a hunger for information that, whether it's propaganda, that validates their views rather than considering, another side. And, it doesn't, the factual backing of that doesn't seem to matter in some situations with things going viral in like an hour. Yeah. And that is really dangerous and infuriating, is smearing these people who have been through hell with these tragedies. It's just so sad.
Yeah, and that's the point. Public figures, politicians, they're used to this kind of back and forth and sometimes false charges being hurled. I mean, these high school students who've shown up on a typical day, they didn't ask to go through this or be public figures. So why can't these tech giants, these giant companies, stop the bullying, stop the harassment, stop the lies and the fraudulent videos? What would it take?
I think the first thing it would take is a lot of money. I'm not sure that they're willing to spend it, but even then, there are going to be people that are worried about stomping on free speech. And these tech giants, they don't want people fleeing their network because they're policing content. But I do feel like there will be a tipping point coming up where people will stop coming to sites because they're disgusted by the content that's there, and that will incite more change more quickly.
Right. That'll ultimately hurt their business. Shayna Glenzer, thanks very much. Good to see you. Still to come, CNN pushing back against an apparently doctored email, and Kylie Jenner, does she really have the power to sink a major stock?
It's all pop culture trivia, but it gets pretty intense.
The new guy. Wow.
He looks exactly like me.
No.
Separated at birth much? We should switch name tags and no one would know who is who.
Jamie, you seriously think you look like him?
I'm pretty good with comparisons. Like how Progressive helps people save money by comparing rates, even if they're not the lowest. Wow. I mean, the outfit helps, but pretty great. Look at us.
Peeling hard-boiled eggs is such a hassle. It takes forever and makes such a mess. Now make hard-boiled eggs the fast and easy way. Introducing Egglets, the new silicone sensation that lets you cook hard-boiled eggs without the shell. Just crack open the egg into the Egglets pod, twist on the top, and boil on your stovetop. In minutes, pop them out of the pod for perfect hard-boiled eggs. No hassle, no mess. The secret is the thermodynamic non-stick silicone material that allows the egg to cook just like it would inside the shell. No broken egg whites. Chef salad without ever peeling an egg. Crack, boil, and pop with Egglets for perfect hard-boiled eggs every time. And Egglets is great for soft-boiled eggs too. Add cheese, onions, mushrooms, peppers, all your favorite vegetables for delicious omelets. Make an egg white omelet or use egg substitutes for healthy cholesterol-free food. Create fun-filled breakfast the little ones will love. Make Egglets in advance and store in the fridge. Ideal for breakfast on the go or a power-packed snack. Easy to clean, dishwasher-safe Egglets. Don't waste your time picking and peeling hard-boiled shells. Now just crack, boil, and pop with Egglets for perfect hard-boiled eggs.
CNN is pushing back against a claim by Florida student Colton Hobb, in which he repeated on Tucker Carlson's show that the show.